All right, welcome back everybody, back with another quick little news of the day video here for you guys. As per usual, keeping you guys up to date with everything that's been going on in the Dota2 Pro circuit. We are just about 1 week away from roster locking, and even though we don't have a lot of news to talk about today, it is some pretty spicy news coming from some of the biggest teams in the Dota2 Pro circuit, and so I'm super excited to get into it. But before we do that, as per usual, if you've noticed that I've missed anything on this board or in any board that I've done over the past few weeks, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. Try to make sure that it is something that has been confirmed. I don't usually cover rumors on this channel, and if you want to check out the links to anything that I talk about in this video, all of them are linked down below in the description, as well as the link to our Discord server. If you want to join that, talk all things DPC with people just like yourself, feel free to do that. We're getting into the next season, which means we should be ramping up some discussions about stuff like that. I'm thinking about doing some betting polls, not where there's any money on the line, but we can just do some predictions on who's going to win series and stuff like that. I think it'd be pretty fun. And yeah, if you don't want to miss any more news videos just like this one that keeps you guys up to date, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you're always notified whenever I upload. And if you enjoy the video, like it and share it. It goes a long way. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to be starting off with two teams that I talked about just yesterday, and thankfully that meant that I didn't have to redraw their logos, but it does mean that I'm going to have to talk about them in the same order that I did yesterday, which means we're going to be starting things off with Nigma Galaxy, who yesterday just parted ways with their coach Roman, who had been a part of the team for over 3 years at that point. It seemed like it was an amicable split. He was obviously good friends with a lot of members of the team. He was there when they founded the original team Nigma, but they saw it fit to part ways with him, and so we didn't know where Nigma Galaxy was going to be going from here. And honestly, there have been a lot of rumors regarding them just going through a total rebuild, with Kuroki possibly entering retirement, maybe even players like Miracle taking an extended break for over a year. And this first thing could have been what triggered the whole thing. And ultimately, right now, we don't know a whole lot with what's going to be going on with Nigma Galaxy, but we do know that they've picked up a brand new coach to replace Roman, and that is going to be ImmortalFaith, who's coming in from a pretty hot season with Gaming Gladiators. Definitely started off really, really strong with, of course, Gaming Gladiators winning their regional finals back in tour number 1. They looked really, really good back then. They kind of dwindled a little bit over time since then, but still a fantastic year for the team and for ImmortalFaith, who really cemented himself as one of the top coaches in the Western European division, and he has now been picked up by one of the biggest and most infamous teams in the region as well, which is really, really exciting. So best of luck to him. I like this move quite a bit for Nigma Galaxy. I think that they did kind of need some sort of change, and even if there isn't a change in the roster heading into next season, this is still something that can shake things up. Nothing against Roman. He obviously was a fantastic coach and a good friend of the players on the team, but obviously they felt like things needed to change here, and so they did. So best of luck to them. Roman, again, I think he's a great coach. I do think that there might be a little bit of a stain on his career up to this point, just because he hasn't had that major title or any deep run up until this point with Nigma, since they haven't had the most success since becoming a new organization. But his longevity in the scene does have something, and teams will definitely be looking out for that. Again, when you're coaching one of the best and biggest teams of the region for that long, teams are going to take notice of that, and he should get picked up by a squad should he want to do that heading into next year. Okay, let's move over to Team Secret, which is possibly the biggest news of the day, the one that I'm sure a lot of you guys are clicking on this video for, and that is that Nisha has parted ways with Team Secret. And at first we weren't sure whether or not this was a kick, although it wouldn't make very much sense if it was a kick, because I think it's pretty clear, even to Team Secret, that Nisha was the best player on the team. I mean, how many times have you tuned into a Team Secret match and it's just the Nisha show? So a lot of people were just kind of flaming Team Secret maybe a little bit too early, because obviously they wouldn't have kicked Nisha. They're just talking about how whoever's going to be coming in is going to be a total downgrade. It's like, well, yeah, of course, but they probably didn't want to lose Nisha. And it was later revealed in a statement that Puppy posted that is on the official Team Secret Twitter, where he mentioned that Nisha was going to be the one that was actively leaving the team, and he totally understood why he was going to be doing that. So we know now it wasn't a kick, it was Nisha wanting to leave. As of Nisha, and as of right now, we don't know whether or not he's going to be immediately joining another team heading into next season. He was with Secret for over 4 years and 700 matches, which is a lot of time to be playing consecutively, and has gone through many different iterations of the team itself, especially the one that took place near the start of the COVID pandemic that was just utterly dominant. Unfortunate for them that there wasn't a TI that year, because they probably would have been a heavy favorite heading into that season, but ultimately there wasn't, and things didn't work out all that well until TI 10 came around and they actually finished top 3, which wasn't all that bad, but it definitely wasn't what people were expecting at the time. But yeah, Nisha, where does he end up? Does he end up taking some time off? Does he jump right onto a brand new team? And if he does, where does he go? Where do you guys think he ends up? Do you think that there's a possibility that he changes regions and maybe joins a new team in North America, or maybe in Eastern Europe, or maybe goes all the way to Southeast Asia? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, because I do think that whoever ends up with Nisha in the end, whether it's right now or a year from now, they're going to be getting a hell of a player. Nisha, by far MVP of Team Secret over the past few years at this point. Again, he's been playing with them for such a long time, has been through so many iterations, and he's always been that shining star. You know, sometimes players have a hard time adjusting with new teammates. That never seemed like it was the case with Nisha. It didn't seem to matter whether he was playing position 1 or mid. He was always the star of the game. So best of luck to him. And for Team Secret, how do you fill this slot? And I totally understand the criticism that Team Secret, no matter who they get now, and it really could be anybody, you could get Miracle on this team and it would still feel like a downgrade. How do you fill that void? And I'm not trying to put blame on Team Secret. Again, it's not necessarily their fault. Nisha wanted to part ways with the team, but where do you go from here, and how do you keep yourself as being one of the top contenders? It certainly helps that they had a fantastic run at TI 11, going all the way to the grand finals. Sure, it didn't end all that well, but hell, you finished top 2 at a TI. That's pretty damn good. That's going to be attracting some new players, and that does also say something about the rest of the players on your team. You can't just get there off a one-man show. It wasn't just Nisha and Puppy that got them to the grand finals. There is still something to say about the rest of the team. Zayak, Resolution, and Crystallis, they still played fantastically well, and even though they weren't necessarily the most consistent players leading up until that point, they were still top 2 at TI caliber. So yeah, we'll see what Team Secret's able to do from here. I'm just curious to know what you guys think, and who do you think ends up filling that slot on Team Secret? Will it be enough to keep them at the same level that they were? Let me know. And finally, ending things off in CIS, another region that has been pretty quiet over the past little bit, we have news from Virtus.Pro, and that is that they're going to be parting ways with not only one, but both of their supports, and they're going to be looking to fill those slots over the next week, because on December 9th at 11:59 Pacific time is when the roster locking takes place, and they are currently sitting with just 2 members on their roster right now, those being GPK and DM, because of course, Ramses had also left the team over a month and a half ago now, and they have still not filled that slot. Now, Virtus.Pro, a very big organization, the biggest of the region, arguably behind maybe Team Spirit, since Team Spirit did win TI 10 in the Dota scene. They might not be as big as them anymore, but certainly there are going to be some players that want to join Virtus.Pro. They're a big organization, very famous organization as well, so I don't think that they're going to have any issue, but will it be the same? I was a little surprised to see that they let go of Xakoda, and again, it's unclear whether or not this was a kick of the supports, or whether or not their contract expires and they mutually split, or if the players just wanted out of the team. But as of right now, I think that losing Xakoda specifically is a pretty big loss for Virtus.Pro. I thought his play in general was one of the best of the position 5s across the region and across Europe as a whole. So losing him, that's a pretty big asset. We'll see where he ends up. Yamich as well. Not to take anything away from him. He played fantastically as well. But yeah, where does Virtus.Pro go from here? There are quite a few players available right now. I know technically no one is still rostered with Na'Vi right now, but we could see the return of no one to Virtus.Pro. Of course, he probably wouldn't be mid since GPK is still there, but we also have Ramses, who has been rumored to make his return to Virtus.Pro once again, despite the fact that he just left them about a month and a half ago. So a lot of question marks right now that are all going to be answered within the next few days, because in just about a week from now, we have our rosters locked for next season. And I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about where you guys think players are going to end up, where do you think teams are going to be ending up, and where do you think teams, for example, like Team Secret, are going to place in the next season within their division? Are they still a top 3, a top 4 team, a team that's going to be attending majors? Or do they slip down to the lower division in Western Europe? We've seen how volatile things can be, and I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching. As per usual, your support means so much to me. Again, if you've noticed that I've missed anything on this board, let me know in the comments. If you want to check out anything I talked about in this video, check them out, link down below. I know there wasn't a whole lot to talk about, but honestly, these were some pretty fun topics to go over, and so hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys very shortly with some more news.